Hey everyone! Today we're going to tackle a really important part of English, modal verbs. Now, these might seem like small words, but trust me, they pack a huge punch and can totally change what a sentence means. So, have you ever stopped to think, what's the real difference between saying, you should study and you must study? That one little word changes absolutely everything. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly why. So, okay, what even are modal verbs? The easiest way to think about them as special helper verbs. They kind of team up with the main verb in a sentence to add an extra layer of meaning. Things like ability, permission, or obligation. They're basically meaning shapers. Now listen up, because this is the golden rule. This is the one thing you absolutely have to remember. A modal verb is always followed by the basic simple form of a verb. No S's, no ing, no ed endings at all. So you'd say she can read, not she can reads. Simple, right? Once you've got that down, you are totally on your way. All right, let's jump into our first pair. This one is all about ability and, being polite. We're talking about can versus could. So can is all about right now, the present. It shows you have an ability, like I can speak English. It's also what you use for informal, kind of casual requests when you're talking to friends. Could, on the other hand, often looks back to the past. You might say, I could run really fast when I was a kid. But here's the other big use. It's fantastic for making polite requests. Just notice how much softer and more formal could you help me sounds compared to can you help me. So here's the quick breakdown. For present ability and informal chats, you're going to use can. But for a past ability, or when you need to be a bit more polite, could is definitely your friend. That little shift in tone, it makes a huge difference. Okay, next up is a super important one. This is all about the difference between giving some friendly advice and laying down a strict rule. And for that, we need to look at should and must. It really all comes down to one simple thing: choice. When you should, you're just offering a suggestion. It's a good idea, but it's optional. But when you use must, well, that choice is gone. It's a rule, a serious obligation you have to follow. So, for example, you might hear, you should respect elders. This is a perfect use of should. It's great advice, a kind of moral guide that's really important, but it isn't, a formal law. Now compare that to this. You must wear a helmet. This is totally different, right? It's not just a good idea, it's a rule. It might even be the law. You have no choice. So you see that difference? Advice versus obligation. Let's put it simply. Should is for soft, optional advice. Must is for strong, compulsory rules. Getting this right is so key for communicating clearly, whether you're in school, at home, or anywhere else. All right, for our last comparison, let's talk about guessing. How sure are you that something is going to happen? Well, that's where may and might come in to help us out. We use may when there's a pretty decent chance of something happening. So if you say it may rain later, you're kind of hinting that, yeah, grabbing an umbrella is probably a good idea. Might, though, signals something weaker. If you say it might rain, you're suggesting the chance is smaller. You're less certain about it. It feels like more of a long shot. So the main thing to take away here is that may suggests a stronger possibility than might. It's a small difference in words, but it's a really useful one to know for everyday conversation. Okay, you've seen how they all work. So how about a quick challenge to see what you've learned? Let's test your knowledge. First question. You wear a seatbelt. And the hint here is that it's a rule. So is it A, should, or B, must? Number 2. Can you help me, please? And for this one, we're looking for the polite option. Is that A, can, or B, could? And the last one. It rained today, but I'm not sure. The clue is weak chance. So would you use A, may, or B, might? Okay, you ready for the answers? Let's check them out. For number 1, wearing a seatbelt is a rule, so it's B, must. For number 2, the polite way to ask is B, could. And for number 3, that weak chance means the answer is B, might. So how'd you do? So here's the bottom line. Remember, should is for advice. It's a good idea. Must is for a rule. You have no choice. Can is for a direct request. And could is for a polite request. If you can get these 4 straight, your English is going to sound way clearer and so much more natural. If this explainer helped you get a better handle on modal verbs, we'd love it if you'd like,
share, and subscribe to Neslingua for more lessons just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.